Hello, everybody, and welcome to Whimsically Wicked, a reading duet, spooky edition. My name is Haylee. I am the whimsical half.
My name's Daria and I'm the wicked half.
This is your season.
This is my
It's
season.
not my season.
This is absolutely my season. All my home decor has officially come into season again. My front yard's decorated. It's going great.
Yeah. I feel like I'm probably one of the very few book girlies who doesn't love spooky season.
Probably, at least in my world of books, probably.
Definitely in your world of books. And most of the people, I'm a fall girl. I love fall. But to me, that is like toques and mittens and walks in the chill, crisp air and not haunted houses and stuff. I don't like the haunted houses.
You are skipping the haunted houses this year.
I got out of it. I got out of
We're
it.
doing that on Friday and you're not in town.
I will not be here, which is great for me because I cry at haunted houses.
You
And
did pretty good last year.
I did okay, but they can smell it.
they can tell when
They
you're
can tell
afraid.
the second they see someone there, they're like her. She is gonna be a good time for everybody, and yeah.
Yeah, even in the lineups at that place too, they would get you. Like the characters would just show up behind you and like make noise, or you would just like you would have that feeling of someone looking at you and there'd be like Pennywise right there.
Oh my god, Pennywise was awful. But there was that other guy who would like he stood behind me for a while there,
Oh
and you guys were just across from me, like trying to keep your shit together because you thought it was so funny, and I didn't notice right away, and then I could start to tell that like you were concerned about something and or there was something behind me or whatever, and I like looked and I had a meltdown in the middle of the line.
yeah. Yeah, you did.
Ugh. So anyways, I don't have to go this year. I'm very happy. I get to drink my warm teas and coffees and wear my toque and maybe jump in some leaves and do all my innocent girl, fall girl stuff.
I believe I have a whole itinerary. I'm not in charge of it this year, thank goodness,
Yeah.
but
I'm literally just leaving for spooky season. I'm out of here.
it's probably the strat.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. It didn't work for me last year. I That haunted house was awful. Oh my god. They do a good job. That's all I have to say. Deadmonton, they have not sponsored this video at all, but you
No.
guys do a good job if you want that kind of thing.
Yeah, of the Halloween things I've done in Edmonton, Edmonton's my favorite.
There's even the kids one we went to a couple years ago.
Dark.
Dark. That was bad for me too, and it was for children.
Yeah, that one's not scary.
Well, I was still scared. Now I'm getting scared. So instead of haunted houses, we decided to find some out of pocket Halloween romance books.
Yeah, some unique ones. And I would just like to state for the record, I only picked one of these.
Did I pick the rest?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So Haylee can't be mad at me except for one.
And I am mad at you for that one, by the way.
I loved that one. That one was great.
Oh, we're gonna have some interesting opinions on this. So we picked four books. A couple of them are pretty infamous, I feel like, that are fairly well known.
Yeah.
And by well known, I mean if you're on a weird side of the internet, you probably know.
Yes.
And then a few that I had never really heard of, and we tried to kind of diversify it a little bit. There's kind of a little bit of everything, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say we went from like cozy romance to like unhinged, weird smut to just regular monster smut,
It was
to
all over the place.
novellas, full length novels. We went all over the place.
Yeah. And we have developed a little rating scale so that we can encapsulate 100% of our feelings on each book. So what we're going to be rating them on is our general rating, 5 stars, normal Goodreads scale here. The spice, so how spicy the book was, out of 5. How outlandish that spice is, again out of 5. The cringe factor, out of 5. The plot of the book, and will they make it? Will
Yeah.
the couple survive the test of time and trial and tribulation?
Yeah. after their short stint as a monster romance.
Yeah. Okay. Um, the first one that I said we had to do because this author just seems to be the person to go to for this type of thing was Siggy Shade.
Yes.
And there are a lot of options by Siggy Shade, by the way.
So many. And I think all of them are pretty equally unhinged.
Seems like it. We decided on The Morning Wood Tree.
Yeah.
And oh boy. What was your rating for this one? General rating.
I give it 3 stars because I couldn't stop. And you know what? That deserves an amount of acknowledgement where I was like, I did this in one sitting, in one night. Like, it was done. We'll get to the rest of it after this. It definitely earned those 3 stars based on ability to hold my attention.
Yeah. I gave it a 3 stars too.
Actually? Hell yeah.
Does that surprise you?
Yeah. Oh my god. Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
like, well, okay, so this book is
Oh, we're gonna spoiler warning for all of these. We're not censoring it. If you haven't read them, you could read them. You could also just listen to us. They're not
Yeah.
exactly must reads.
And even if you know the plot, you're still gonna have a time with them. So
Yeah.
I mean, so the Morning Wood Tree, you already kind of guess. You have to a little bit.
Yeah.
This young girl, woman, is set to be married to the love of her life, and she is on her wedding day.
Yes.
She something happens with his grandfather or something like that, and she has to run and grab her fiance, her husband to be. And where does she find said fiance? In bed. But he is not alone in bed. No, no, no. He is with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And he is sucking on her breasts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who might this woman be, you might ask? His mother. And so she's like, hey, this is psychotic. I'm out of here.
And she's like, I want nothing to do with this.
They threaten her because there is a generational situation, medical situation, where their men need breast milk to survive. Which means she was about to be entered into this family for not the fiance.
No. Because that would make any kind of sense.
No, because he needs his mom's.
Yeah.
But
and it can only be his mom.
It would only be his mom. It can't be anybody else's. Who might she need to supply milk for? The grandfather, who's not doing well.
Yeah.
Because his supply died or something.
I think she died. Because he was
died.
Her fiance hadn't been the same since his great-grandmother passed away, or his great-grandmother passed away. Yeah.
So they are in dire need of a woman to be
a milk supply. Can't be store-bought, apparently. Can't be donated. Must be fresh from the teat.
Right from the teat. So she's like, bye, and she runs away after being threatened for her life. And she runs into a forest where she has been told that there are many animals and scary things in there. And she almost gets mauled by 2 wolves. And I think everybody's lives would have been better if maybe that just happened and then we could have just ended it there. But no. A tree. She gets grabbed by these long branches in hands and taken away by a massive tree who needs to come up from their deep slumber every 150 years or so to kill and feed on human blood. Now, the part that I forgot to mention and how she ends up surviving is that she has a very heavy period flow. So she's like, hey, I got you for a week. Don't worry.
We can have a little thing going, and then she can figure out how to escape the carnivorous tree.
And then he's like, more.
he figures out that human bodies produce more than just blood.
And he likes that shit more.
Yeah, he was really into that.
Yeah. He became a cumaholic, one might say.
God.
And so that is our story. And then, yeah, it was just well written.
It was so well written.
Dude, this author is a very good author.
Yeah, it was well written. I was like so into it. And I had a great time.
Well,
I had to Google some things, which was shocking for me.
What did you have to Google?
The ginger thing. I didn't read past the initial word. I just started Googling, and then I would.
The ginger.
Yeah, you know, when she's getting punished, and he puts it.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Okay, well, I'm glad you Googled that. I did not. I didn't care enough. I was like.
They also explained it like 2 sentences later. I was just
Oh.
impatient.
Okay. Yeah, so it was well written and the story was good.
Interesting.
So, yeah, so 3 out of 5 stars for me too. And like a good 3 out of 5 stars, it's just like it was still what it was.
Yeah. There wasn't like character depth or there's a little bit of growth there, but like it had good lore because it borrows Norse lore. So like the tree is Yggdrasil.
Yes.
Which was interesting. And like it was
you know what?
It had a backbone.
I have no expectations for any more lore than that, and they still gave me a little bit more. It exceeded my expectations on what I thought I was going to get out of this.
Like, I wasn't mad at it.
No.
Spice-wise, that got 5 chilies from me.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie. It kind of turned me on.
The only thing... Well, okay, the cringe factor, we'll get to that. The nose was too much for me.
The nose was too much.
That part, I was like, no thank you.
But he's just so versatile.
This is true. Any part of him could be used as a dildo.
Literally, and many dildos, or, the size.
Yeah, it's all adaptable.
It can be wherever it wants to be, whenever.
Yeah.
It's very adaptable, and yeah.
And he took requests.
He took requests.
Like the nose.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
That was a step too far.
Yeah. This I think is probably where we're gonna vary on all of these. How outlandish did you give this book? How outlandish was the spice?
I still gave it 5 for that.
Okay. Yeah, I gave it a 5 too.
Yeah, that one, it was a lot. There were things everywhere. I had to look up some of the terminology they were using for the things they were doing with those pieces of him that were inserted other places. And the talk was not bad,
yeah.
but it was graphic.
Yes, very graphic. And even when he had first got her, he basically just ripped all of her clothes off. And she was having this, like, weird experience where she's like, I kind of like it, but I'm about to die, and I don't like it. And it was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening there.
But it was hot.
It was.
So, cringe factor.
I gave it a 4.5 for that.
Yep, that checks out. I was 5.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I just know it could... I think for me, the cringe factor was not a full 5 because it was still well written. So I was like, ooh. But I was also not like, ooh, because it was bad. I was like, ooh, because the content was wild.
I couldn't not give it a cringe factor of 5 because of what happened in the first couple chapters of that book. I literally got out of my seat cringing. Like, that was peak cringe, I think.
Yeah, that was a lot.
When the first or second chapter ended with him in bed with his mom sucking on her tits for milk, I can't even say the sentence without being like, what? I freaked out.
You did it. I got it on video, actually.
Oh my God. Did you actually?
Yeah.
All right, well, insert video of Haylee freaking out. I don't like it. I don't want to read it anymore.
I'm excited.
Because that was bad. So it got 5. It never, like, I would be reading something and I would be like, okay, this is getting good. And then it would slip into my mind. I'm like, oh no, but they have a generational
Milking
breast
fetish.
milking fetish slash medical concern.
I'm assuming it was like some kind of curse or magic thing
Yeah,
on the family because we're acknowledging some form of magic exists in this world.
right.
So I kind of just assumed it was a curse.
Okay, well, it just popped into my head too many times.
I kind of
Um,
forgot about it, to be honest. I was way too into the smut to remember, and then they would keep bringing back the family, and I was like, oh yeah, there's a reason we're here.
because the smut was good.
Yeah.
It was good. What about the plot for you?
I give that a 2.
Oh, tell me more.
She borrowed extensively from
Oh,
existing, so like she didn't have to really do that much. Also, there's like the plot is milking, running, fucking tree,
it's true.
impregnating ex, having child.
Yeah. Yes. Um, I used this rating for the plot situation. I just used it as does it have a plot? Period.
Oh, okay.
That is where I went with this because I figured that my expectations for an actual plot in any of these books were pretty low. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 for the plot.
Okay.
I thought at least everything added up.
Yeah, it was a cohesive
It was a
thing.
cohesive thought, a cohesive story, and it was resolved by the end, and that was nice. And I mean, it was a messed up plot.
Yeah.
It was fucked, but like, I mean, his granddad was gonna die if she didn't provide him breast milk. They had a motive.
There yeah, no, they definitely did.
He needed it, and he was willing to do whatever he needed to do in
To get
order
his
to get it.
milk. Oh, and he did a lot.
And he did a lot. And she's got some issues. She's got some issues, but
Yeah, no, she definitely does.
yeah. Do you think that this couple is going to make it? So basically at the end of this book, they end up falling in love. He becomes a
Real boy.
real live boy who is sort of in one with the forest.
Yeah.
But after they go back and they murder the whole family,
As they should.
as they should, as they deserve, once they go back and murder the whole family, that house is now theirs. And he figures out how to reproduce, and they do that.
Yeah, they have twins.
They have twin little babies. And that's how we end. And so, my question to you is will they make it?
Yes.
Are they going to stand the test of time? Yes.
I don't think it gets more fucked up than that for them. I think they've surpassed all the challenges they're gonna have.
I sure hope so. I really hope the best for them. I also think so. I think that she has just little enough of a personality for it to literally not matter.
That too.
There is not a character trait to be found.
No.
And she is easy a little bit.
Low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem.
Uh, she's not gonna find anyone better than the deity that she's been fucking.
Yep.
And they have kids, so
It's hard to argue, right? Like, it's kind of the perfect match for a horny tree.
yeah.
If there ever was one. I think they make it.
Yeah, I think they make it too, and I think it's a happy, long relationship. Hopefully, the children. Well, actually, they said the kids wouldn't inherit the weird milking thing from their surrogate father slash incubator. So
Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised that I liked this one. I'm proud of myself, but I have to give the shout out to Siggy Shade.
yeah, like I would read more of her books, no problem.
Absolutely. They're not for everybody.
No, check your trigger warnings on this one. It's weird.
Yeah, but they are well written. If you're looking for something a little bit messed up, a little bit weird, it's I good for her.
Yeah, true talent right there.
True talent. Um Moving on to the second book that we read. Riding the Headless Horseman by Molly Likovich. This book was 64 pages or something like
I
that.
think it was 50.
Yeah, it was not a large book. It's hardly a novella. It might be a short story.
Yeah, I feel like it would almost fall under short story.
Yeah.
Because I read it really fast.
I I don't even know what I read.
Um,
What did you give this one?
I give this one 2.5 stars.
Okay.
Because it had some lore. It borrowed again.
Right.
But I understood the story. I
Yeah.
understood what they were doing. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad.
I thought it was bad.
Oh, okay.
I gave it a 1 star.
Oh.
I just Okay, I was never Sleepy Hollows. Is that's where this is from, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the lore.
Oh, okay.
I don't know any of it. So I was basing on like it just went so fast. It was like
I
she's
do have a separate rating scale for novellas and short stories, though, because I
Oh,
don't expect the same out of those as I would a
yes.
book. So
I think that's fair.
I don't rate it. Like if it was a full length book and had the exact same amount of like content,
Yeah.
then it would have a lower rating. But it's only
Yeah.
50 pages, and I think they did really well with the 50 pages they had.
Okay. Um yeah, I just don't know the lore. Like I didn't really understand what I was reading, and then he took her back and they fucked, and then she left to go get his head from
Yeah.
the grave, and that was it.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't for me.
That's fair. It's definitely like you would have to have some of the background of Sleepy Hollow and like
Yeah.
what's happening and why they matter and
Yeah.
the backstory of that area.
Yeah, I feel like I was missing some stuff.
Because I've seen so many movies and the TV show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that there was that much content on it.
So much content. Actually,
So
come to think of it.
tell the people what this book is about and what the Headless Horseman is, because I obviously do not know.
Yeah, so the Headless Horseman is like a harbinger of death. It is not death itself, but like one of his goonies, basically. And on Samhain, or Halloween, his job is to go out and bring back sacrifices, basically. But this year, he's like, that witch, I want that one. That one's mine.
Oh.
So he takes her back to his realm, which is the underworld.
Okay.
Or some.
I didn't get that. I was just like, he just saw her and then she ran away screaming, and I'm confused as to what's happening here.
Yeah.
That checks out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they get back to that realm. He's like, you're going to be mine. And she's like, don't think that's happening. And this happens really, really quick. Because again, this is a 50-page short story / novella. There's not a lot of room to like develop this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So they just end up fucking. And she's like, you know what? This ain't that bad.
Yeah,
so she goes and dips out and knows that she can't come back for a full year because the veil between worlds goes back into place when the sun rises at the end of Samhain. So then she has to wait a full year. Plus, she has to figure out where his head is because it's like an unmarked grave somewhere.
Right.
So she has to get his head because she's like, I could fuck you as is, but it'd be kind of nice if you had a face.
Yeah, which, fair enough.
So then she goes to get his head so he has a face. And the next year on Samhain, she like seeks him out.
Yeah.
And he's like planning on killing her because he's like, fuck you, you like crawled out of bed and left me after we banged.
Fair.
And then she's like, no, I've got your head. And then happily ever after.
Oh, cute. Okay. Is he allowed to have his head? Because he works for death or whatever. So, like,
yes.
Is he gonna get in trouble for this?
So the reason he doesn't have his head is because he was killed during the, like, Salem witch trials.
Right.
So he was decapitated after death. So he doesn't have his head because it's not attached to the rest of his body, is the logic they used in the short story. So in order for him to have his head in death, it has to kind of be, like, reunited with the rest of him.
Oh. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I put the spices 2 chilies, but I think that's mostly because I found it very unmemorable. This was also immediately after reading The Morning Wood Trio.
I also only gave this 2 chilies for spice. There wasn't a lot going on there.
Yeah. I was kind of expecting something with like I don't know what I was expecting.
There was a pumpkin involved because obviously the headless horseman has a pumpkin
Yeah.
he uses to see in the mortal world and like doesn't need it in his own realm,
Right.
whatever. Um, yeah, I was just it was only 50 pages. There was only enough room for one spicy scene,
Yeah.
and it just wasn't. I don't remember what happened in it.
Me either. I found it really unmemorable. I think it was just that I remember her talking about how she felt like she was looking into his eyes even though he didn't have a head. Like they kind of talked about that intimacy. But other than that, I don't really. The thing is that with a headless horseman, like it makes for a good title of a book, but what are you gonna do with that? Where are you gonna go with?
Yeah, it needed more than a short story to like really
Yeah.
be more than
I
that.
just don't know how much more creative you could get with that.
He needed more toys.
Yes,
I think that would be
toys would have been
toys
better.
would have
Yeah.
enhanced that, and the spicy theme.
Yeah.
But instead, I don't know what happened.
Me either. So, I think that also it takes us right into how outlandish it was. It was not.
Yeah, I gave it like a 1.5 for
Yeah.
Unhinged. The unhinged part was the fact that he didn't have a head.
Yeah. Yeah. I only did one, and it was because it was pretty normal, I think.
Yeah, the spice wasn't unhinged necessarily. She was
Yeah.
just. I was just imagining staring past your partner.
Yeah.
Because I'm 5'3", having sex with someone shorter than me, where I would like not be able to see them, is not an option.
No.
So I don't know what that experience is like. But I was imagining it, and I was like, no, no.
No.
Which added to my cringe factor.
What does it look like? Like, what is it just. Because he's not like a full being either. He's kind of a ghost type deal.
I think he's still like all there except for the head.
Oh, okay. Okay.
At like basically shoulder.
I wanna look at like actual photos. I'm gonna look some up. Oh yeah, okay. So it's kind of just like I'll put some up on the YouTube stream when we do it, but it seems as though it just kind of doesn't exist. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a stump.
Yeah.
And he's got like a black collar around it, so you can't really tell that anyways.
Yep.
All right. Well that's fun. What about for the cringe for you?
I think really 1.5 again. I was mostly just imagining having sex with someone without a head. That would really make me feel weird.
Yeah, I gave it 3, which I thought was a low rating for this activity. I didn't find it super cringy. I didn't cringe as much as I did in the Morning Wood Tree. Um, but I think that the concept was cringy. I think all of the concepts are a little bit cringy, so I'm just there's
Yeah.
a baseline level of cringe that I think they all get. This was on the lower end of that, and it's still a 3 for me.
Yeah, no, this was like there really wasn't that much cringe in this.
No. What about the plot? I feel like yours is gonna be higher than mine because you know more.
I still gave it a 2
Yeah, okay.
because it's a short story and there can't
Yeah.
be that much plot.
Yeah. I gave it a 1.
That's fair.
I was like, there's not a plot to be found. I don't know what I just read.
Yeah, like there wasn't a lot going on there.
Well, okay. I think part of my issue with the plot, I can't believe I'm like critically having thoughts about these, um, is that like the plot was just that he chose her and then he decided he loved her and then her mission was just to like get his head. And then that was it.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel as cohesive as the other ones. It didn't feel
Yeah, there wasn't
this.
like a lot of motive or like trials and tribulations to get
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
And that is one thing that I think a short story can accomplish.
Yes.
And that's actually a really good point. Nothing wrong happened. It was just like, I want to see your face. This is fine too, but I want to see your face. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make this decision. And like, there was no.
Yeah.
Because even a short story could be an extra 30 pages.
I think if it was told from his point of view, it would have had a little bit more ups and
Mm-hmm.
downs
Yeah.
versus her point of view, where you're just like, all right.
Yeah.
First for him, he went through the whole year of like plotting his revenge
Right.
because she dipped.
Yeah.
And she promised she wouldn't dip.
Exactly. Or even like because it didn't take long. She came back and was like, "Here's your head," and he was like, "Oh, okay, cool, forgive you. Let's fuck again or whatever we do."
Yeah.
And there wasn't like any banter or disagreement
No.
or
Yeah,
thought to be had.
not a lot from this one stuck with me past reading it.
Yeah, me either. But are they gonna make it?
I said maybe.
Yeah, I gave them 2 wedding rings out of 5.
Yeah,
Um,
that's probably about what I gave.
yeah, so she might have to. Like, she might not have a choice.
Yeah, she might not be able to leave at this point. He might not let her out of his sight. Maybe he wasn't that attractive with his head after in the end.
Right?
Like, who knows? Also, they've known each other for less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
But she's into him. She
did go get his head.
did go get his head and like stayed committed to the bit for a year after knowing him for
Like 8 hours
yeah.
at most.
She was committed, but I still don't know. I don't know. It's hard to tell when they haven't gone through anything together. I'm hesitant about any instant love.
Yeah, okay.
I'm very skeptical of that, and I am still skeptical of that. That shit is gonna wear off. Oh, I just fucked the headless horseman. He's not headless anymore. He's not unique.
Yeah, he's just some dude who's a lackey for death.
Yeah. That loses the excitement, I think. That's gonna go away fast.
Yeah, and their honeymoon phase was spent hunting down his head.
Yeah. I feel like it's going down for me now that we're talking about it.
I'm still leaving it at a 2.
Okay.
Because, like, maybe with his head the sex is better.
Maybe.
He's got some more stuff to work with now.
Yeah, that's true. He's got a few extra tools.
Yeah.
In his toolbox.
But yeah, no. They were boring. Who knows?
Yeah. All right, well. That was fun. Number 3. Fireworks for My Dragon Boss by Honey Phillips. This was kind of a random one that I had found. She's got a bunch of books that are all kind of these like random monster and human by the looks of it, and in just kind of different situations.
Yeah.
This one is about a girl who works for a publishing company and a dragon, male dragon, who is also an author. And in this world, they just have others, like minotaurs and kraken and
I think it was like werewolves at some point.
werewolves
Orcs.
and yeah, like all of the things. And so this male dragon is an author and he is behind on a deadline. And the publishing company is doing layoffs. And so in order to save her job, what's her name?
I don't remember. I read it this morning. I don't remember.
Some girl, Charlotte?
Maybe?
We're gonna go with Charlotte. Charlotte goes to his house to be like, what the heck is up? We need you to do this. I'm here to help. And exactly what you think is gonna happen happens. They develop feelings for each other. He ends up asking her to stay so he can help with the research for his book. And the girls at the inn that she was staying at were trying to set them up.
Yeah.
And,
or convince her not to at some points. It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. There's definitely mates in this world, and so they end up discovering that she is his mate.
Mm-hmm.
Never?
I don't know.
His name was a Navor.
Yeah.
Nakor?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And they end up being each other's mate.
Yeah.
I think she says fuck you to the publishing company, too. She leaves.
Yes, she did, because she was like, I'm going to move in with you. And she put in, like, her 2 weeks notice, because she was like, I'm dipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you rate this one?
This one gets a 1 star.
Yeah, I figured that it would be for you.
Barely.
Yeah, I know.
It
You didn't want to finish this one?
All my notes for this book, 50%. 53%. I'm so bored. I watched a DNF at 63%. 43 minutes left and struggling.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been this bored reading a book before.
It was boring.
They're so
It was a
painful.
cozy romance. Like, they
But it
were.
wasn't even a good cozy romance.
That's the issue, is if you're gonna write a cozy romance, the banter has to be good. You
Yeah.
have to have some low stake problem.
Some tension.
Yeah, some tension, some he was just like a broody asshole. That was his whole personality. And once again, she didn't have one.
None.
Y'all, when
She
you
had less
write,
personality than the tree.
yeah, the tree had a
It
personality.
was very complex. This female main character, blank slate,
Had glasses
cardboard.
and I think red hair.
Didn't even. I don't remember.
Yeah, and then
It
she
was
was a nerd.
painful.
Yeah, she liked to read and research. And that was it. And he was just a broody asshole, and that was his entire anything he did, and that was it. Like that
Yeah.
was the only thing that he had. Um this was more in my realm, so I gave it a 2 stars, which I thought was generous.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the coziness of it. I had moments where I was like, okay, this is like, we're just like we're writing a book together and that's nice. And I like that, but it still wasn't good.
No. No, no.
No. What did you give the spice for chilies?
I gave it a 2,
Yeah.
and that's only because my spice scale, if you have penetrative sex, you get a 2 to keep it
Oh,
even.
to keep it
So like a
consistent.
1 is over the pants, 2 is you bang, and then 3 ups the unhinged.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I don't have a spice scale because I don't think I read enough smut, but I gave it a 2 as well. So I feel like we're in the same. Um I just didn't give it much for Unhinged. The I gave it a 2 for Unhinged as well because they fucked in the air while he was flying.
Oh, I still gave it a 1.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty on par for dragon stuff. That was whatever.
Out of all the dragon stuff that I've read, it was very, very normal
He
for
only
the
had one
dragons.
dick, so it was still just getting a 1 unhinged.
That's not enough dicks for a dragon.
No, not to be unhinged.
Oh, right. Because he
Apparently.
fucking
You get
didn't.
it? No. It was like missionary, and then the sky, and then it was over.
Then it was over. And also, can we just stop relying on big dicks to just be the only plot point in Smut?
Yeah.
It doesn't turn me on. It actually scares me.
Every time. And then I question if these people have ever actually had to deal with one, because if you have, it's not fun.
No, it's not. It's too big. And it hurts.
Yeah. Are you gonna navigate that?
Yeah.
And then you're limited in positions and options, and I was like, I don't know. If it's gonna be big, it better be freaking creative. Opal Rain style Her Soul to Keep, or January Rain and her weird monsters. It's gotta have extras.
Yeah. We don't need we don't,
I
that's not
don't
what we want. That's not what the females want. We don't just want, well, at least I'll speak from I don't want just like a big cock. That's not,
no. It's gotta have some special jazz on
yeah.
there. If it's gonna be big, then you also have to have extras. Be more creative.
Agreed. So, anyways, yeah, the smut wasn't super exciting, but just based on what else I had to read this week, it was a nice change of pace for me a little bit. Are they gonna make it?
No, because you're gonna die of boredom together.
Yeah, they might.
Like, there's no way.
Well, they're mates. They're fated mates.
I've read enough rejected mates books to give that
So,
0 weight.
yeah, I also have some questions about this though, because part of what happened in the book is when she came up to like do this and help him finish the book, she stayed at an inn, and the girl at the inn was like immediately like, oh, they're gonna fall in love. They love each other. And then she like pulled the strings for like, she was like, oh no, I'm leaving on Thursday. And she's like, we'll see. I don't think so. So, like, how long had you known that they were mates? Like, when did you start setting this up? Because apparently this is something that this girl had been doing for forever, just like setting people up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It didn't make sense.
I think Knacker, whatever his name is, Knacker. I don't know. He's just a dick. Like
He was an asshole with no redeemable qualities. Like, he didn't even
yeah.
treat her nicely.
No.
not even when he was like, we're mates, I'm gonna try give this a shot, it still was a shitty try.
And it was so hardcore miscommunication trope too, which was dumb, and I usually don't like those in general. There's like
No.
very few exceptions to that rule. And so he goes to a friend because he hasn't been able to communicate to this girl that he likes her,
Yeah.
and he's like, "What do I do?" And the orc, his friend orc, was literally like, "Have you tried telling her?" And he
Yeah.
was
Have
like,
you talked to her?
"No. I don't think that'll work." And he was like, "Just try it." And then he tried it, and then it worked out. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Waste of 30 pages. You could have taken 100 of the pages from that book and put it into the Headless Horseman one.
And that probably would have been more fun.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because at least it wasn't fucking boring.
It was so boring. Like I it took me 3 days to read this book because I couldn't pay attention. I would like get lost. I'd be like I would rather be reading the fanfic
Yeah.
or like the 6 arcs I have on my backlog right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
And I didn't even read the whole thing. I definitely swiped through the last like 20%
Yeah. Yeah.
and read every third word.
Yeah. That's what I kind of did with this last book. This one was Daria's pick.
Yes.
The Scarecrow's Queen by Naomi Lucas and Mel Braxton. Naomi Lucas, that's familiar to me.
Um she does a lot of monster and sci-fi romances. She's
Okay.
pretty popular for those.
Yeah, that is not something I think that I would recognize. Maybe you've talked about her
Probably.
before because that is not a reason I would have known the book.
No.
But yeah, you might have talked about her before.
She does interact with my stuff a lot.
Okay.
On
Oh, then that's
Instagram.
probably why. Like
Yeah.
if I've seen her on talking to you and everything. Okay, so the Scarecrow's Queen is. Can you give us a breakdown of this? I don't know that I can do it.
Yeah. So this book is about a girl who inherits a farm from her aunt, who she doesn't really have a relationship. She doesn't know her at all, but for whatever reason, her aunt left her everything. And she goes and she's like, "Cool, I will reno this place. I'll sell it. I'll get some profit out of that, and then I can go buy a place in my hometown in California where I actually want to live."
Yeah.
Because this is a farm in like the middle of the Midwest somewhere. I can't remember what state. But on this farm, there is a super creepy scarecrow that is like oddly people looking, but also still a scarecrow, and it creeps her out. So she like takes it and dumps it. But what she doesn't know is that this farm has a pact with a god, or it's called a crow king, but they explain it like it's a deity.
Yeah.
And in exchange for giving half of the crop to the crows, that farm produces the best of everything that they plant.
Right.
So the owners stay pretty not wealthy necessarily, but they don't have to worry about anything.
Uh-huh.
And because she has no idea what's going on and she doesn't keep track of it, and no
Yeah.
one's told her, he like uses some of the magic on the farm as part of this pact to make himself a real boy.
Yeah, he sure does.
And he ends up like working the farm and like doing the crops because he's like, we're so fucked if this doesn't work out.
Right.
So he puts in all the work and everything, and everyone's like, you gotta tell this girl about what's going on. And he's like, she ain't gonna listen to me. And he's not wrong.
No, absolutely not.
She was not about to listen to him.
Yeah.
And then they end up just romancing it up because he's apparently very attractive as a person.
Yeah.
And like they get there eventually.
Yeah, they do. Didn't she like throw away the scarecrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She dumped it in the dumpster, and then he had
Yeah.
to like crawl back to the
And
farm.
then he was like, "No, bitch." Yeah. It. What did you give this one?
3.5 stars.
Okay. Yeah, I did 2.5.
Okay.
So not awful. Not my kind of book, but we knew that going in,
Yeah.
right? And like, yeah, my opinion on this was always going to be a little bit different, but I thought it was a book. Like there was a plot. It was cohesive. It was decent writing.
Yeah.
And I did the audiobook because I was traveling today, so I like didn't have time to sit down and listen, and so or sit down and read, so I listened to it. It was dual voice actors. And like that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the audiobook was actually pretty good. And yeah, I thought it was a book. Like it was a cohesive book. I have Scarecrows are not for me. The scarecrow smut was not my kind of smut. And I
That's fair.
found him creepy and stalkerishy, and I didn't like that.
I loved that.
Yes, and that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I really like that. Actually, one of the things I liked the most out of this book was the magic system in it. I loved the
Yes.
kitchen witch style nature magic that she used in this. I thought it was so cool. I thought
Yep.
it added so much depth to the story. Like, I understood what was happening. It didn't require you to like think too much about the magic either. Like,
That's true.
it was natural. It existed in the world. You made a bargain. You got some stuff out of the deal.
Right.
And it wasn't like super complex or anything, but I really liked that she used that kind of kitchen witch magic because
Yeah.
it's the kind of magic that people like when you see them talking about it on Instagram with
You
their stuff.
understand. You
It's what
don't
they're
need
doing.
to. You don't need to learn a whole magic system. And what I will say is, it didn't try to do too much with that
No.
because it knew what it was. The
Yeah.
book knew what it was. It was a little scarecrow love story with, like a high stakes magic situation,
Yeah.
and I can appreciate that.
Yeah. I think it added a lot of depth to the plot for me. It made sense. She made it her own, which
Okay.
I really liked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 3.5 stars. I enjoyed that. The female main character was fine. I She reacted like a normal human to a lot of things, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Where she was like, "No, this seems crazy. I'm gonna
Yes.
not speak to you for
She
three
fucking called him
days."
out for it too,
Yeah,
which I appreciate because he would like watch her all the time.
yeah. And she was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah, which I mean, like it checks out why I can appreciate that, but it was still fucking creepy.
Yeah,
And I think that because from his point of view, it was a dual POV, and from his point of view, it was very like I am learning about human emotion and I'm learning
yeah.
that kind of thing. And to me, it felt like it kind of hid behind that a little bit, where it was like, oh, it made it okay for him to be a dick. It made him okay for him to like stalk her and all of those things. But at least it made sense with the story.
I actually liked that part
Okay,
because I
interesting.
thought it added a lot of character depth. Like he had to learn how to do this. He had to figure out how to integrate that in. Learn not to do it again.
Yeah. He also had to learn what a penis was.
Yeah.
He was
Like he
like,
had to use the anatomy books to figure out what the fuck was going on. And then the cowboy romance, I even wrote in my notes, I was like, I wish my partners learned how to do this from a fucking romance book because they'd be so much better.
they would be so much better.
And I was like, I liked that. I thought it was cute. Or he's like, the cowboys. And she's like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Men could use to read some romance books every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would all be so much better.
Yeah.
So many things if they did.
I feel like all of our sex lives would be improved if people were just like open to talking about it.
That too.
Yeah.
Which he was. He was like, I'm going to figure out how to do this and what this is. And
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cute.
Okay.
And I liked the character growth he had.
Yeah. What did you give it for the chilies?
3.
3? Yeah, I was 4. That was a lot for me. But you have a very specific rating.
I do have a very specific rating scale. They didn't do anything particularly crazy.
No, it
In
was
sex.
just the. Well, how outlandish did you say it was?
2.
Okay, I did 3, so I was just 1 above.
Yeah.
It was a little out there for me. My thing was the sewed on penis.
It made sense though. Who sews a penis on their scarecrow?
It was like I couldn't enjoy the smut. That was my thing because I like a scarecrow is just not a sexy thing to me. To be fair, I didn't think a tree was also a sexy thing, but they made scarecrow's tough. Like I'm just thinking I'm thinking the hay, like are you allergic to hay?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like just and it's scratchy and then the cloth is always that like really rough gross cloth.
Yeah, but he had all human stuff.
I get the magic. I get it. It's just like I couldn't cuz then he would turn back into the scarecrow for her and like show her who he really was and I
Yeah,
was like
to try to convince her.
I'm sorry. I just don't have it in me to be attracted to him. I don't care how attractive he was. It couldn't be for me.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. As far as like unhinged smut went, like they were really their sex was not crazy because he was learning how to do it.
That's true. He was a virgin, I
Yeah.
guess is what you would consider him.
Yeah.
One who has been a scarecrow and never had sex for a couple centuries.
Yeah. So like they weren't doing anything crazy.
Yeah.
And like sure he gave himself like a decent sized dick, but it also wasn't like outlandish
Yeah.
or weirdly shaped or anything.
I couldn't get to the point where I couldn't get to the point of making him an attractive character. He was like in my head, I understand that he was like a real boy and he looked like a real human. In my head, he was a scarecrow.
You should look up the fan art that Lucas has on her Instagram. There's a ton of it right now.
Oh good. Yeah, no, in my head, scarecrow the whole time. It was not, like the scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
That's what I had in my head.
Oh, so I've seen all of her fan art for him.
Okay, so
I know what he's supposed to look like.
yeah, okay. I just couldn't get there. My imagination was not strong enough
No.
during this. Yeah, I couldn't get there. So, it was well written though. I will
Yes,
say
she's a
that.
very talented author. I
Yes.
really like her monster romances. They're some of my favorites. Her alien stuff's also really, really good.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Um good writer, like the banter was okay between them, everything was cohesive and like the magic system and the lore was it was good.
It was
Like
cool. It
yeah.
had a lot of depth in it for
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah. The cringe though, I did 5 with the cringe.
Oh, I
It
only did
was
one.
it was the scarecrow, man. I couldn't get past the scarecrow.
Yeah, I did. Of the things that I've read books about,
This is fair.
Scarecrow is really low on the list of weird.
Yeah, that's fair. I just couldn't. I just felt the straws and the cloth and like I couldn't get past it and yeah, it was cringy because of that. I wish I could get past it, but I couldn't.
What did you give it for plot?
For plot, I gave it a 4 for plot.
Oh, okay.
I thought that there was a plot. Like it
Yeah.
was a plot and it was actually a relatively good plot. Like if it hadn't been for the actual romance, it still would have been a book. I think that's the big piece for me. Like, is this still a story without the romance?
Yes.
And it was. Like, there was a situation where, like, they had made a bargain and, like, there was magic system, there was lore, there were other characters and all that stuff that were brought into it. So I gave it a 4 for the plot.
Yeah, I think I gave it a 5 just because I was like, it's had more plot than a lot of monster romances I've read. Like it was good.
Yeah, well that's the thing. Like there is a story. It exists in there. Do you think they're going to make it?
Yes.
Okay, tell me why.
I think they went through a lot. They both made sacrifices for each other.
Okay.
They now have overcome her biggest thing, which was she wanted a family.
Yeah.
They can have kids.
I still don't really understand how that happened.
Gods.
Okay.
Yeah. Gods and magic. I wasn't looking too
Right,
far into
okay,
that
so yeah, we just can't think too much about it.
yeah, the gods and the magic are doing their thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I figured they'd make it. They have their farm, they have their kids, and they made the pact again, which has an expiration date on it this time.
Yeah.
So I think they're set.
You think they're set? Okay. I don't know. Do we think she's going to be happy there? Because she was, what, a personal trainer beforehand?
Yeah.
And then she just moved
Or
out here?
yeah, personal trainer, kinesiology,
Something
whatever.
like that, yeah.
I think the distance from her mother was worth all of it for her.
Yeah, that usually helps.
Yeah.
Okay. I gave it 2. I don't think they're gonna make it. But I just don't think that I don't think it's logical. And I know that that's not the point. I shouldn't be bringing logic into this situation, but I am. And he's still a scarecrow. Like, can we just. He's still a scarecrow.
I don't think he is at the end though.
Did he not?
No, they made him into like a full person at the end.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
I don't think there was a scarecrow option anymore. They could still do some fun tying up stuff.
Oh, yes, that was
But-
interesting.
That's why it got the 3 chilies for
3
spice.
chilies for you. Yeah.
Was the
tie.
tying up
Yeah.
that moved it up from just sex.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, I'm starting to get your rating. Yeah, I just don't know. I think he's creepy and I still think I can't get past. I feel like that, you know what I mean? He grew, he got better,
Yeah.
and they went through a lot together, but I just think that is just something to take on to the next one. You know? I don't know that there's any coming back from that. For her, obviously there was, but I just don't know.
Well, she also, like, she can't leave now.
Well, she
Otherwise
got,
she
yeah.
dies. So
Yeah, she's fucked.
it's him or death.
And you never know. Sometimes there are things worse than death.
Scarecrow guy?
It might be, that might be my line. You're so trapped. Oh my god. I don't like him. I didn't like him. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. But it was an interesting one. It had more plot than most of the other two did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, and I think it still had more plot than Morningwood Tree.
I agree with
Like,
that.
there was a full story here
Yes.
with, like, side characters that weren't just gonna be slaughtered.
And I think it was also the longest one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was maybe like 30 or 40 pages longer than the Morningwood Tree, I think.
Okay.
Because
And
they were
then
both in the high 200s.
yeah, and the fireworks with my dragon boss I think was in 200.
Well, yeah, like low 200s.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Every moment of that one was torture.
Yeah. That one felt like 600 pages.
It was so hard
Kind of
to
felt
read.
like After a little bit, except for it was more boring than After.
I would have read After again. I'm not gonna lie. I would have rather have read After. I would have read the second book in After before I finished this.
Oh my god. Yeah, so that's what we did for Halloween.
Yeah, I'm going back to my fanfic after this. For a
Yeah,
little bit.
I need a break, but we're gonna do this every holiday. There's
Yeah.
some weird shit out there for all the holidays.
Yeah, so every holiday is gonna have its own strange smut
I
episode.
know. Well, Honey Phillips has one called Mistletoe for my Minotaur, but I don't know that we want to dive back in. I think we need to move on from.
I don't think Honey Phillips is gonna. It's not gonna last. Sorry,
Yeah.
we can't. I can't. I can't do it again.
Yeah.
Stiggy though. Hopefully you have a tree one, like a Christmas tree one or something.
Stiggy's gonna stick around.
Yeah. Easter. There should be some good Easter bunny ones.
Yeah. We're also gonna do the Morning Glory Milking Farm,
Oh yeah.
which I found out is a series.
Yes.
There's 5 books.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Because our lovely friend from our lovely artist friend from Quebec messaged me being like, "Have you read the Morning Glory Milking Farm?" And I was like, "I have not, but we are going to for Easter." And he was like, "Just the one?" And I was like, "What do you mean just the one?" And he was like, "There are 5 of them." And I was like, "I will not be doing that. I don't think."
Let's see how the first one goes.
Yeah,
We'll see
let's
what
see how
mood
the
I'm
first
in
one
for
goes.
Easter.
Oh my god. Yeah, that'll be fun. Oh man. And we are obviously very qualified to have an opinion on this. You're more qualified than I am as our resident smut connoisseur.
Yes, yes.
And I just talk out of my ass about these. So we have opinions. We want to hear about your opinions that are different than ours or the same.
Or the same.
So hit us with a comment, hit us with a like, message us on Instagram or TikTok or wherever you would like, and we will talk to you about them because this was an experience that I would like to relive over and over again for the rest of time.
I'm going back to my fanfic now.
Yeah, let's go read stuff we enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm rereading The Way of Kings.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's been a good time.
Wait, are you supposed to be on the next one?
Yeah, but so Jake finally got to The Way of Kings, and I was like, it's been too long now that I don't really remember all of the things. And I was like, you know what, I'll just read it with you because I read for, a couple hours a day, and he will read like a couple chapters every night or every other night. So that's easy for me to just like, okay, I'll read 30 minutes of something that I enjoy almost every day. And then the rest of that can be Shift the podcast, specifically this stuff, or whatnot. Other
Okay.
books that I want to read and things like that. But it just gives me this, like, I know I'm enjoying this. We're writing notes. We're having book club talks about it. I've also joined 2 book clubs.
Oh damn. I could not.
I obviously can't. I don't read as much as you do, but
Yeah.
people keep asking me to be in book clubs, and I'm like, yeah, why not?
I can't. I'm too much of a mood reader. Like, I have 5 or 6 arcs on my Kindle right now I need to get through, and only one of them I'm interested in reading right now.
Oh, man. Yeah. I have one with our weightlifting club, and then also at work, we're doing a book club with my old team
Oh.
that I used to be on.
Yeah, no. Like, if my team is planning on doing something maybe for a holiday, and they're like, "Are you interested?" And I was like, "Depends what kind of books you're reading, because
Yeah.
if it's not something I'm interested in, I just won't read it."
I don't remember what book we're starting with. Let me look. We're actually really cute though. We're called Book Was Better Than the Movie.
Okay.
Um Also, did you know Cher is coming out with a book?
No.
Apparently it's going to be like a memoir or biography or something.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. It's a romance.
I recognize the author's name. I know she's done quite a bit of romance, if I remember correctly. I've never actually seen the book before,
Okay,
though.
Yours Truly will. Oh, it's like cute.
I'm really into contemporary romance unless it's like hockey or dark. Yeah, yeah. I've seen that title before.
I'm going to be reading that. So, I'm in my romance girl era and still struggling with it.
Yeah.
This is okay. This is why I have my Brandon Sanderson to keep me like really engaged in that side, and then I will still have my romance books. Because I even read an Emily Henry book
Oh, yeah.
on my own
Because you
volition.
read Book Lovers, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was still just okay. I didn't love it, but I did it on my own volition.
Not bad.
I know, and it had good banter.
Yeah, I think she's known for that.
Yeah,
Yeah. There I haven't read any of her books because again, like regular
you
contemporary
won't.
romance is
Yeah,
really
you would be bored. You
boring
would be really
for
bored.
me.
Yeah.
But it's hockey that I'm here for.
Yes, you are big into the hockey romances. Are you still reading a lot of those, or you've moved on to your fan fiction era?
I'm mostly in fanfic right now,
Yeah,
but there are select authors who, like, if their books come out, I will read them. And I
right.
also have a backlog of hockey romances to get back to, and I constantly have hockey on because it's really
It's
great background noise while
hockey
I
season.
play or while I read.
I've had a really weird reading personality the last couple months.
I'm all over the place as usual.
Yeah, but you like hyperfixate
Yes.
so hard because I will read a Hermione fan fiction and I might read one more and then I will like go off and do other stuff. Daria read Manacled, and then 3 days later, she's like, "I'm on my sixth Hermione fan fiction."
Yeah, they're not short ones either. Like, we're looking,
No.
everything has been 500 to 1300 pages.
Yeah, and then like same thing happened with your hockey romances. Like
Yeah.
you discovered hockey romance, and you're like, "I've read 18 of them this month."
Yeah. That's what I do. I just
Yeah.
jump from one to the next, and then I'll sprinkle in a couple of them in between whatever I'm currently
Right.
fixating on. But yeah, the joys of being a mood reader,
Yeah.
because it's gonna take it. Either something really really good has to come up to butt me out of this, or I have to find something really really terrible that ruins it for me.
I think I'm just too sensitive to do that because when I really like something, I can't handle do you've seen me when I really like my contemporary and literary fiction novels. I cry a lot. I can't do that 24/7. A Little Life almost destroyed me. Shark Heart did destroy me for the day. Read that in a day. That was bad for me. I can't do that every day. I'm too sensitive.
Like, they have a couple of them. The auction was soul destroying. That was great. I loved that one. I
That was
would
hockey.
No, that was Dramini fanfic again.
Oh, okay.
I would say like Manacled, The Auction,
Oh,
close second.
yeah.
And then there was like a lot more. There's still
Yeah.
a lot more. Um but I don't know, cuz like the thing with the fanfic too is like I've read book 6 rewrites, I've read book 7 rewrites, I've read alternate
Yeah.
universes, post-war where they win, post-war where they lose. Like, it's
Right.
just been a lot of different stuff.
I'm so much less specific when I get really excited about something. Like my mood reading is not like I want a hockey book or I want like historical fiction, like those types of things. It's not that I'm in the mood for. I'm like I'm in the mood to cry or I'm in the mood to be in a magic system. It's so vague that I think it still bounces around.
Yeah, no, it'll be super specific. Like, I'll be like, I need Academy wide shoes for 3 weeks, and I need like 13 books in that, and then
Yeah.
it'll be usually do Star Wars binges every once in a while,
Nice.
dark romance binges. Like, it's always the
Yeah.
same general because I want the same story over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't do that. I need
'Cause
unique, I need shock factor. I don't like I want to be surprised.
I just want to see the different ways people do the same stories.
Actually, it's so funny because I forget all the books I read too. Like I forget everything in a plot point. Like you ask me to recap a book, I can't. And I was reading The Way of Kings. I read The Way of Kings this year, like 6 months ago, maybe
Yeah.
even less than that. Yeah, 5 months ago or something. In May, I read it, and I turned a page. Jake and I were reading next to each other, and I turned a page, and I was like, "Oh!" I gasped. I've read this book before, and Jake is like, "What happened? What?" And I was like, "Oh, I forgot about this. This is so good." And he was like, "You've read this before."
Recently.
Yeah.
I I remember, especially now, most books that I've read, depending on how good they are, I'll forget it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole series I recently was looking at my Goodreads, um, that I really like the author. I'm sure I enjoyed the book. Couldn't tell you what the plot
Right.
was,
Yeah. That
but
happens to me all the time.
for the most part, I remember just about everything, give or
Yeah.
take. It's about 5 or 6 years, and then they fall out.
Okay. Mine is more, especially with a book like Brandon Sanderson. Like, I remember the book. I remember what happened. I remember the characters. I remember a decent part of the lore and everything like that. But he has so many little payoffs in those books.
Yeah.
So I think that that's where that came from. But it was really funny. I was like, whoa, that's so good. How did he do? I'm like, dude, you've literally fucking read this 5 months ago. So silly. But I have read a decent amount of books in between, so I guess that's fair.
Yeah, like I think everything from this year I remember pretty vividly, unless it
Yeah.
was a shitty book that I just like purged from my brain,
Yeah.
which happens.
Yeah. Well, fireworks for my dragon boss is not sticking around for any
No,
period of time.
no, that's gone.
Yeah.
That's gone already. Purged.
Oh my gosh. Well, happy Halloween. I'm happy that it's your season. It's sort of my season too. It's just the spooky part is not my. I'm a Thanksgiving girly.
We're here with the spooks.
Yeah.
All the spooks.
Yeah, we'll have fun at your haunted house. I will
I
not
will.
be
I can't
here.
wait.
I will be enjoying probably Harry Potter.
Oh, I just finished that.
Yeah, because we have three more movies to watch.
Yeah, I finished that yesterday. Day before yesterday.
Ooh, and Rings of Power.
I still have to watch the second season of that.
I hear so wasn't gonna watch it. Was gonna say no. I had gotten through one episode, and I fucking love The Lord of the Rings. That is my favorite movie trilogy of all time. Obviously, like I love those movies. I love the books. Huge Lord of the Rings nerd. I made it through one episode of season 1 when I tried to watch it, and I was like, I just don't think that this is gonna be for me, and it was gonna be good. And so the second season just came out, and one of my other friends was like, at the end of the second season, it gets worth it. It gets good, like the last few episodes,
Oh, okay.
and there's a good payoff, and a lot of the other things start to add up apparently. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it again.
I haven't, because it's not really, it's based on footnotes because they don't have the rights for the actual Silmarillion. They have the rights
Yes,
to the footnotes.
yeah.
So like,
Some of the lore has changed,
yeah,
because they couldn't do all of it, which is fine. Especially if you know that, that's fine because it's like, what are you gonna do?
yeah,
Like, you don't have rights to the literal Bible
yeah.
of Lord of the Rings, so it is what it is. Uh, but apparently it gets decent. But as long as because they do have the notes, like the footnotes, which makes things mostly accurate.
Yeah, and like it's Amazon. The production value on it is insane.
Yeah.
Like it's visually stunning.
Yes. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I think the reason that the hardcore Lord of the Rings fans are angry is because the reason that hardcore fans are the way that they are is because of how much lore there is. And the second piece of that is that the trilogy is so accurate to the lore that you are always learning new things. He thought of everything, and there's so many cool things that weren't included in the trilogy that you get to learn about. So it angers hardcore fans when it's not accurate because they don't get that same level of dopamine of learning everything about it because it's not accurate. But you also have to get over that.
Yeah, I maybe my personality is very chill across the board,
Yeah.
and I am just happy to have content.
Yeah. I
99% of the time, I'm just like, I'm grateful that I get to see it on the screen. I'm grateful that I get another director's take on
mhm.
something. Because I don't think you have to be lore accurate 100% of the time.
No.
Also, because I'm sorry, but they're trying to adhere to a wide audience.
Yes.
If you get too lore specific, you're gonna lose 90% of these people, and it's not worth making.
No.
So if you want it, you're gonna have to make compromises.
I am not chill. I don't have a chill bone in my body for anything. And so that's where I'm struggling with it. But I mean, it's Lord of the Rings content. We should be happy about it. I am really excited for War of the Rohirrim,
Mm,
the animated one that's coming out in December, and they're doing Search for Gollum,
yes.
which I'm pumped about. It's gonna be so good because they're bringing everybody back.
Yep.
Andy Serkis
Hmm.
is directing with Peter Jackson, and then Vigo is coming back. Orlando's coming back.
Yeah,
They're gonna
yeah,
have
I
to
saw that.
de-age the shit out of Vigo though,
And Orlando.
and Orlando. Orlando looks better than Vigo does.
That's true. That is very true.
Vigo's
Vigo's old.
well, Vigo was also only ever hot as Aragorn.
Yes.
Vigo as Vigo was not.
No, no, no. Because he's a weird dude.
He is. He's very weird. Anyways, that's what we got going on.
Yeah, lots of book stuff.
Lots of book stuff, lots of nerd stuff. We're excited to. It's getting colder.
Yep.
We're gonna be hunkering down in the house all winter reading. I'm so excited.
Yes, I can't wait.
Oh my god, it's gonna be fun. And we're also gonna be social. We did make that
We
commitment to each
did
other.
promise we would be so. We would try to do some things.
Yeah, we're gonna go out sometimes, but we're gonna also read a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fireplace going. It'll be great.
Oh yeah, with like an actual fireplace.
Yes. Without actual fire.
Got hockey on in the background. It's
Yep.
gonna be a wonderful winter.
Yeah, hockey's on 7 days a week in this house.
Yeah, we're ready. All right, well, thank you for tuning in. Give us a like, comment, subscribe. Really helps us out. You can also find me on TikTok as Haylee Johnson, and on Goodreads. So yeah,
You can also find me on TikTok, Goodreads, and Instagram as Daria's Reading.
gotta get that rebrand down.
I know. Struggling.
Yeah, I feel that. All right, have a great Halloween, everybody. Be safe, be healthy, and don't talk to weird strangers.
And tell us what you're reading.
Yeah, let's hear about it. Okay, bye.
Bye.